What's up, everyone? I'm back with my next DVD review, and it's a late Valentine's Day special. Originally, this was supposed to be uploaded on Valentine's Day, but I was delayed due to personal reasons. However, I managed to overcome everything, and I'm ready to get to review our next release, Charmy Heart's Day. So, let's begin with the history of this very interesting Valentine's Day release. Charmy Heart's Day was first released onto DVD on November 17th, 2015 by Treehouse Kaboom and Entertainment One. This was also released in 2016, but it's unclear how, when, in which month, and on which day. This was also difficult for me to find in person, and I didn't get it until I got it at a Value Village when I was extremely lucky. My guess is that they had a short sell-in period, and only aimed to sell them online, like on Amazon and eBay. However, that was fine for me. Also to mention that it was released with the Treehouse Presents logo and the Kaboom Entertainment logo. And let's not forget that you can also find this release with a glitter-covered slipcase. I owned one of these. If you guys didn't see from a few past videos. One last thing to point out is that the episodes on here are actually in a reverse. The double-length episode on this DVD plays before the single-length ones, when in the air in order, it's the opposite. That wraps up the history. Now let's go on to our episodes on the release. So Charmy Heart's Day contains a double-length episode and 4 single-length episodes, all from Season 1. Charmy Heart's Day, Fashion No Show, Lock It or Lose It, Uncharmed Life, and Pest Friends Forever. So let's begin with our double-length episode, Charmy Heart's Day. It's Charmy Heart's Day, and Hazel has a present for her mother. However, a mishap causes the pieces to go all over Charmville, and it's up to Hazel, Posey, and Lavender to get them back before the fireworks. For an episode to start off the release, I think it's pretty cool. Even though I'm not a fan of Valentine's Day in general, this stays consistent with the theme that it was going for. And I will admit, design-wise, the characters' attires do look pretty cool, and the music, on the other hand, is pretty good. And the songs are pretty excellent too, I will admit. Overall, while I'm not a fan of Valentine's Day, this episode is a bit cool and it's easily a great way to start off this release. 10 out of 10. Our second episode on the release is Fashion No Show. While preparing for a fashion show, a mishap causes Hazel, Posey, and Lavender to have huge ears. While trying to fix it, Hazel makes herself invisible when the problem becomes the solution. Okay, as much as I like this episode, it's not really one that I'd really rave about. However, what makes up for it is the ending. Turning themselves invisible was a great idea. And that's one way to show off attire. And I will admit, the visuals that they used for this episode is pretty damn cool. And that's saying something. I gotta admit that the ending scene is freaking awesome. Overall, I'd say that this episode is a pretty good one, and the ending makes it all the more entertaining. 8.5 out of 10. We now move into our third episode, Lock It or Lose It. Hazel accidentally charms Lavender into a locket, and it's up to Hazel and Posey to get her out. But it might not be as easy as it seems. Okay, this one is definitely a weak one. While it may sound like an entertaining story, the idea of the story and a big plot hole of leaving Lavender makes it messy, and I will admit, I don't really care for the episode all that much. The idea was good, but I'm not really a fan of it. Overall, it's nothing spectacular, but I don't really like it. While I do think it's fine, its fixation on Lavender being stuck in a locket, and the numerous focusation on a secondary character makes it one of the most tiresome episodes on the release and the series as a whole. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. Up next, Uncharmed Life. Hazel accidentally breaks her wand while trying to help her mother with her to-do list. And when they go on the hunt for 3 hard to find ingredients, it becomes a little bit hard as they go along. I will admit this episode's plot idea is fine, but what I don't understand is how they didn't try this at the beginning of season 1. And I will admit the idea that they were going for was pretty good, but most of the focus is on Hazel. And I generally have to question how her wand broke this time, but not before this episode. That's just off. So, but overall, I feel like the ending of this episode, the final third of this episode is pretty good and sort of saves it, although it could be fixed in a number of ways. For now, 8 out of 10. And now our final episode is Pest Friends Forever. While trying to help the frogs, Parsley causes a spillage in the pond, and Hazel gets affected due to his antics. And this causes Hazel to be too joyous and drive Lavender and Posey crazy. Okay, this is obviously the weakest episode on the release. There were weaker episodes, but this one is obviously a very weak one. And I really don't care for Parsley as a character, but this made me hate him a lot more. And honestly, it's his fault the whole incident happened in the first place. What a jerk to the newbie, to the main characters. But overall, while I don't hate this episode, I don't like it either. So I'm just gonna split it between 5 and 6 and give it I'm just gonna give it a 5 out of 10, and that seems very generous because I think it's too unlikable to be a 6, but not bad enough to get a 4. Other than that, that's the end of the episodes to be reviewed. So what do I think of Charmy Heart's Day? Okay, getting the obvious out of the way, I definitely do not like Valentine's Day. But what saves it is the episode selection. The Charmy Heart, the double-length special is good, but the other episodes put it in a box of its own, and because they're not related to the Valentine's Day theme, That makes it a little confusing. It's hard to say that Entertainment One knew what they were doing when they were putting this release together. But overall, it's not great, but it's not bad either. For those of you who are looking for some of your favorite episodes on a compilation release, I will recommend getting it. But if you're looking for something that fits the theme better, I wouldn't bother. It's a roll of the dice again. That does it for this review. I'd like to say thanks to everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoy, and feel free to check out my other reviews that are in the playlist that I've linked in the description. So, what release am I going to take a look at next time? Well, there was one DVD that I wanted to take a look at, but I had to push it back due to the delay. So I'm gonna take a look at one of my VHS tapes. And with my birthday coming up, what better way should we celebrate than with a party? See you guys next time, and bye for now.